Okay, now we will just concentrate on these three things. Debugger. Debugging gives you a runtime view of the program. That means when the program is running, it's storing data in the RAM, memory, and doing stuff. All these variables get values. We can see them live. Runtime perspective. Select statements, if you come from web programming, very similar to your PHP select statements, but with some twist. That's why SAP has its own OpenSQL. Loops and read tables are reading the internal tables we just discussed and looping through them. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. Let's go. Here's your program, right? We can read the program, double click, go here and there, see what it is. That's a design time view. To look at the runtime view, we need to put a breakpoint. You put your cursor here, put a breakpoint here. There's two kinds of breakpoints. One is session breakpoint, and one is external breakpoint. Session breakpoint, when you log off, it's gone. External breakpoint is active till, say, it says external debugging system Y 2 hours. For the next 2 hours, this will be here. Even if this program is called from another program, another process, this will be there. You know what? Let's not put any breakpoint at all, actually. No breakpoints. Go to utilities, breakpoints, delete. Wait a second, session. Oh, utilities, breakpoints. Oh, sorry, utilities, breakpoints, delete. Utilities, external breakpoints, delete. Free, no breakpoint. Because breakpoints, when you set in particular places, when you know where the problem is, but in this case, we're going to do a general debugging. We're going from the beginning. F8 again. Let's see. Let's put some. Okay. Now we put /H. We enable debugging. Now we put F8 again. At the same time, actually, let's open the program again in another session just to have another perspective. Okay, so see this, you're inside the debugger. By default, it shows you the standard tab. Okay, now as you can see, we are inside some random stuff. We don't know what these things are. We never wrote this. What are these things? Well, it turns out the selection screen you defined, you wrote a bunch of 3 lines, right? How did this beautiful screen appear? It turns out SAP has its own code to interpret that and convert it into a beautiful screen. So this is there, actually, SAP's code. So you define the selection screen, and then SAP has all these forms, etc. We don't care. We're going to get out of this thing. Return F7. Yes, now we are inside our program, and we're inside an event. We're going to elaborate on the events later on. Data statements are not executable statements. Since data declarations are not executable, the program execution jumps right over them, and first it displays the screen, goes to a PI module. Will tell you later. A PI means process after input, and then jumps straight into the event called startup selection. So I press F6. You can do F6 or click here. I do F6. So you're directly in the startup selection. Now at this time, there's another event, initialization. Initialization, we never went to initialization. You know why? Because initialization happens even before the screen appears. So you'll not see initialization in this case. But anyway, all these data declarations have put these variables into memory now. For example, sFlight, as you remember, is a table with data, right? What does this statement do? Tables sFlight. Let's see. Go to the debugger, tables sFlight, double click. Oops, I don't know. Okay, now it is a table, but it is a table in the data dictionary stored in the hard drive somewhere permanently. But if you add the table statement and put the table name, it becomes a variable, a structure. It becomes a structure. Has all the it's got all these columns, however many there were. Double click all these columns in the structure as well. It's an empty structure right now. Nothing has been filled. Okay, so what is the use of this table statement? Well, people abuse it. People misuse it a lot. Only reason I would use a table statement is because in this table, sFlight, again, let me bring you back to sFlight table with some data, has a career ID. You want to have a select options which is modeled after that connection ID. In parameters, you can use these data elements directly. In this parameter statement, again, let me go back to the code. This is a little important. In parameter statement, if you double click, it's a data element. You can use these data elements from the data dictionary directly in the parameter. Here you cannot. For select options, that variable has to be declared as a data statement somewhere. That means that variable has to be in the memory. If you put sChar_id, remember debugger shows you a snapshot of what is in the memory. It says nothing, see, nothing, invalid variable. It's not a variable. It's something that exists permanently in the data dictionary. It's not in your RAM, it's not in your memory. For parameters, you can use stuff from the data dictionary which is not in your RAM. But for select options, whatever you use should be in the RAM. Okay, see, this is in the RAM because this is in the RAM. The whole structure is in the RAM. So structure has a component called conID. This structure, double click, has a component called conID. When you use structure dash or hyphen the element, it becomes a variable. So to reiterate, the only time you'll use the table statement if there's a table, the table has a field, you want your select options to be like this guy. That's the only time you will use the table statement. People misuse it a lot. Actually, I'm going to open another transaction called SE11. SE16 shows the data that's stored inside. SE11 shows you the table structure. So conID is actually data element is this, which is actually a number, which is 4 elements. It's a number, like an integer, which is whose length of 4. So these things all exist. Double click. It's not inside a program. They all exist permanently in the SAP system. They're part of the data dictionary. Again, if you have something, a field inside a table you want to use as a select options, you have to do it. Table statement, the table statement brings that table into memory brings that table structure into memory, and after it's in the memory, you can use it in select options. So let's double click P career ID. The value is already assigned AA. How did the value get assigned? Here. When you start, this value has been passed. The AA value has been passed to it. Let's see what's going on in this case. Alright, so when you double click on con ID, two things got generated. First, the connection ID structure. Second, the connection ID table. If you come from a C background, as you remember, arrays come with a double bracket. So this is an array and this is a structure. Okay, again, double click. When you double click, now the confusing thing is the name of the array and name of the structure is the same. Can we double click? This is a structure, has 4 components: sign, option, low, high. Okay. This isn't, again, this is the table: sign, option, low, high, and then you'll have different rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. But unfortunately, con ID is empty. We didn't put anything in there, so we'll not see anything in there. We'll have to go to the next one, the date. Remember, we put some date in there. Let's put the S date. Same way, there's a hat sign. That means this is a table with a header. This is the old style. So anyway, so this is a table, like an Excel sheet. This is a row. So it says row number 1, sign is include, option is between, low and high. Means it'll tell SAP to include all values between this and this. Again, going back to here, remember we did, this is low, this is high. So this is a special variable called a range variable in SAP.